I'm Megan.
I'm Christy.
And we are
With it.
Microbrew. Did you miss us? I did.
We missed us.
We did. We did.
Welcome back to another microbrew.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, and y'all are here to hear it because they are available to the wild now.
Yes, they are.
But you can still hear us early on Patreon if you so wish.
For $3
to subscribe.
a month.
$3 a month. Patreon.com/homebrewmc.
And we are an 18 plus podcast, so you cannot find us unless you make a free account on Patreon.
You got to do that.
Gotta make the free account, and then you can find us.
Yeah.
$3 a month. Help support a small little podcast.
Help Rusty Spoons.
I love Rusty Spoons.
Salad fingers.
So this is a microbrew. So we're just gonna get right to it. This is a little mini episode for those of you who aren't familiar with our podcast. Our microbrews are our little shorter episodes where there's no bullshit.
Our
We just get right
shorties.
to it.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes there's bullshit, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So my little microbrew today, I'm gonna just get into it.
just do it.
And then you let me know if it kind of sounds familiar.
Okay.
So on Easter Sunday of 1990, siblings Ray and Marie Thornton were taking a drive in a rural area of Coldwater, Michigan. As they drove down a highway, seemingly the only car in sight, a beat-up brown van sped past them.
Don't like that.
The siblings were put off by the van's driver's erratic behavior, which escalated when shortly after, further down this secluded road, the siblings saw the van pulled over, parked behind an abandoned schoolhouse. The driver was then seen tossing a blood-stained blanket behind the building. This immediately aroused their suspicions, obviously. What followed was a harrowing and unnerving experience as the Thorntons continued. Yes.
I was just did the sibling pair, were they older?
Yeah.
Did they like to try to make words out of license plates?
They did.
They
Yeah.
did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's familiar, but I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember the bulk of it.
So what followed, as the Thorntons continued on their way down the road, the van reappeared behind them and began to aggressively tailgate them. Their vehicle, they followed their vehicle for a couple of miles. This menacing pursuit, combined with what they had witnessed earlier, made them feel incredibly unsafe. Eventually, the van gave up and drove off. After the van had left, the Thorntons felt compelled to return. So they turned around and went back to the schoolhouse. There they found behind the schoolhouse was a discarded blanket, which had a human shape to it. They reported the incident to police. This scene I just painted for you may sound a little familiar. Maybe not.
It does.
What does it sound like to you?
Is it supposed to be? Is this another movie?
Yeah.
No, that's familiar to me.
So
wait, Jeepers Creepers?
Yes! So this scene was actually featured, a reenactment of it was actually featured on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, which was the inspiration for the opening scene to the movie Jeepers Creepers.
Crazy.
Yeah. So watching the episode on Unsolved Mysteries, the parallels are pretty uncanny.
Yeah.
Like, other than the fact that, like, these are humans, not demons that are
right.
eat your body parts to grow them for themselves. And he didn't throw it down a tube and there's a bunch of other bodies sewn together on the wall. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
But Jeepers Creepers is hands down one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Like, of all time. I love Jeepers Creepers. So when I saw this on Unsolved Mystery, I was like, I'm covering. But yeah, it's a microbrew. So anyways, I digress. So let's get back. So Earlier on the morning of Sunday, Easter Sunday of 1990, Marilyn DePue, a high school guidance counselor, and Dennis DePue, an appraiser for the state, who had been married for 17 years before Marilyn had filed for divorce in 1989. So on that Easter Sunday, Dennis DePue had arrived at the home of his ex, Marilyn, in Coldwater, Michigan, for a court-appointed visit with their two daughters and one son. They were all high school age in 1990. So when he arrived, an argument had ensued between him and Marilyn, which escalated pretty quickly. And the children had witnessed the whole thing, and Dennis had pushed Marilyn down the basement stairs. He then went down and picked her up and carried her outside to his van, and he told his children that he was going to take their mother to the hospital, and that everything would be fine. But he never came back, and neither did she. Several hours later, one of the children had called the police. Law enforcement had confirmed that Marilyn had not been admitted to any hospitals. Ray and Marie Thornton's report to the police and their account of what they had witnessed at the schoolhouse of the tossing of the bloody blanket with the body in it, and being aggressively tailgated by a van, was obviously a key piece to the puzzle.
Yeah.
Marilyn's body was the body that was found behind the abandoned church, inside that blanket. With the evidence mounting against him, they obviously knew right away who their man was, Dennis DePue. He was the main suspect, and but he had already fled Michigan.
Oh, did he go to
Barbados?
Bahamas?
No,
Bahamas.
No.
Bahamas, no.
So with no leads on his whereabouts, the case of Marilyn and Dennis, titled War of the DePues, was featured on episode 20 of season 3 of Unsolved Mysteries. A year later, it aired on March 20th of 1991. So almost a year after Marilyn's body had been found. They had no idea where he was. They couldn't find him. So Unsolved Mystery picked up the case. They did the reenactment. You know, they did their usual, if you have information, call this number. And the segment of Unsolved Mysteries was a powerful tool for law enforcement, and the broadcast proved to be highly effective. They received several tips almost immediately after the episode aired, of people claiming that they had seen DePue in Dallas, Texas, where he was living under a new name and living a new life. So Dallas police went to arrest him after finding his location. Like, his neighbors were like, this guy lives next door to me. Anyways,
that's always so fucking crazy when you hear that
Yeah.
shit. Like, because that happens more often than I would like it to.
yeah. But he had already heard about his face circling
Right.
on Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries, yeah.
So he had already fled. But police were really hot on his tail, and he led them on a wild chase, passing through Louisiana, and the chase ended in Mississippi, where they found his van, like his vehicle, pulled over on the side of the road with Dennis inside, and was dead, or sorry, unalived, by a gunshot wound, with a .357 caliber Magnum that he had in his hand. A preliminary examination of the wound indicated, obviously, it was self-inflicted. With his death, the murder case of Marilyn DePue was effectively closed, and he was confirmed to be her killer, and the motive was a reaction to their divorce, unfortunately.
Right.
But there you have it. Oh my god, it's like 10 minutes! Should I do my next one?
You want to do a double? Double
You
down?
do a double? Yeah.
Double down, sure.
That's 10 minutes. Let's do another one. I'm just going to throw them all out there.
Yeah, we'll just do a double. We'll do 2 and 1.
Okay.
We won't even separate them.
This one is also based on, was inspiration for another scatty movie.
If we do 10-minute ones, they should be some sort of shots. They should be like, because we have microbrews, and they should do like shots or something like that. I don't know.
For sure. So we'll see how long this one is. So on the evening of Sunday, September 24th, 2006, a family who had been away for 2 days arrived at their home in Whispering Cliffs Drive in Pecatola, Idaho. It was a somewhat remote area in the southeast Bannock County. The couple, Allison and Frank Contreras, were unpacking their vehicle, and their 13-year-old daughter had ran inside and made a gruesome discovery. There in the living room on the floor, she found the bloodied body of her 16-year-old cousin, Cassie Jo Stoddart, who had been hired by Allison and Frank to house sit for them over the weekend while they were away. During the immediate investigation, it was discovered that the lights in the house had been tampered with. This discovery led police to Cassie Stoddart's stepfather as a person of interest, as his fingerprints were all over the circuit breaker door in the basement. However, he quickly explained it away, as he was an electrician and he had done electrical work for his relatives pretty recently. So this one is a little bit harder to pinpoint which horror movie it inspired, but experts believe that Cassie Jo Stoddart was killed sometime on Friday night on September 22nd, 2006. So basically the first day that she was at the house. So the Friday before the Sunday that she was found.
Dude, that's 2 days away, December 22nd.
Oh,
I mean,
September 22nd. That's crazy. Yeah, this is 2006 though. So
I don't know if I
years
can
ago.
I don't know if I can pinpoint the movie though.
No. And it's a little bit harder too. Like this one I'll have to tell you, but so she was stabbed approximately 30 times. 12 of the wounds were considered potentially fatal, and the murder was described brutal. The suspected timing led them to their next suspect in Cassie Jo's murder as her boyfriend, Matt Beckham. He was one of the last people to see her alive, as he had been at the house the night that she was murdered. With Matt and his mother's accounts of the evening events led detectives to quickly clear him out, though, as a suspect as the investigation progressed and evidence began to point towards two friends that Matt had said had also been at the house. Mm-hmm. Brian Draper and Tori Adamkick were also fellow students of Casey's at their high school. And Matt had said that the evening of Friday, September 22nd, him and Casey were at the home when Brian and Tori had shown up to hang out. The investigation only took 5 days before Draper and Tori and Brian were arrested on September 27th, 2006. They were both charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The key pieces of evidence that led to their arrest and conviction were video recordings. Police discovered a series of video recordings made by the two boys in a documentary-style video that detailed their plans to murder Cassie Jo and their obsession to becoming famous serial killers like those in the movie Scream.
Scream.
In the videos, they discussed their motive, which was to achieve fame and infamy. The video footage was crucial, obviously. The physical evidence that led investigators to Black Rock Canyon, where the teens had attempted to dispose of the evidence. Investigators recovered partially burned and buried items, including clothes, masks, and weapons used in the murder. A friend of the teens also testified that he had purchased a knife for them. During police interrogation, both teams initially blamed each other. Brian said it was Tori, and Tori said that it was Brian, obviously. But they both basically admitted to being there. And that, they eventually were able to piece together the details of the account of the night that Cassie Jo was killed. So on the evening, Cassie Jo, while house sitting for her aunt and uncle, was joined by her boyfriend, Matt. Sometime after 6 p.m., Brian Draper and Tori showed up at the house. They were going to hang out. And while they were there, Cassie Jo gave them a tour of the house, including showing them where the basement was. The 4 teens went into the living room to watch the movie Kill Bill Volume 2. When Adam and Troy ended up getting bored and leaving before the film even ended, they said that they were going to go watch a movie at the movie theater instead.
Okay, hold up. I really thought that Scream came out before Kill Bill did.
It did. Sorry, I meant to say that the killings were influenced by a horror movie.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
other way around.
Yes, sorry, other way around.
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
so
cool.
they were inspired
by
by
my God,
Scream
okay.
to kill this poor girl.
Gotcha.
So Cassie Jo and Matt were left alone. The 2 boys said that they were going to leave, go to a movie, but unbeknownst to them, they had quickly, before they had left, they had unlocked the basement door so that they could re-enter the home and re-enter the home and hide there, unlock the back door,
Right.
so that they could re-enter the home and then hide in the basement.
Yeah.
So sometime after leaving the house, they did return. They parked their car down the street so that Matt and Cassie Jo wouldn't see them. They got out of their car. They put on their costumes, which was black clothing, gloves, and white painted masks, and they entered the home through the back door. They made their way to the basement, and so they initially made some loud noises as an unsuccessful attempt to lure Matt and Cassie Jo to the downstairs to the basement so that they could scare them. Next, they found the circuit breaker and they turned the power off to the house, hoping the pair would come down to check the breaker. When Matt and Cassie Jo didn't go downstairs, they turned the lights back on. And Cassie Jo and Matt just kind of were like, it was temporary power outage. Maybe it was a fluke. They just kind of brushed it off. Yeah. But Matt did notice that one of the dogs kept staring at the basement stairs. Just staring at the basement door.
So creepy.
And periodically barking and growling. And he could also tell that his girlfriend was getting kind of nervous. She seemed like she was a little bit scared. So Matt called his mom to ask if she could stay the night at their house. To ask if he could stay the night at the house with her to ease her mind. However, his mother had said no, and that she had instead offered for Cassie Jo to come home with them to stay at their house, and that she would drive them back to Whispering Cliff's house in the morning. But Cassie Jo felt that it was her responsibility to stay at the house. She'd promised her aunt and uncle that she was going to watch the house, watch the dogs. And so she declined the offer from Matt's mom. So around 10:30 p.m., so 4.5 hours later, since they all had gathered together, the 4 kids, Matt's mom had shown up to pick him up. And they left Cassie Jo Stoddart alone in the house. Matt said that he had actually called, what did I say their names were again? Because I keep putting them by last name.
Cassie Jo?
No, not Tori and, oh my God, I'm so
Brian.
Brian. So he had actually called Tori when he left because he was going to try to meet up with them. Just, he just wanted to see what they were up to, see if he could meet up with them, whatever. But he said that he sounded like he was whispering wherever he was, like he was trying to be really quiet and he couldn't really understand what he was saying. He just assumed that the boys were at a movie theater, so he just hung up with them and just went on with his night. So after that phone call, Tori and Brian heard, obviously they knew at that point that Matt had left, so they turned the lights out again and they waited. But Cassie Jo never came downstairs, so they turned the lights back on one more time and made their way upstairs. They were armed with dagger-type weapons and a hunting knife. The weapons, they had been purchased from a pawn shop, and one had been purchased by a friend of theirs. They opened and slammed the closet doors and tried to, scare her before they walked into the living room, found her lying on the couch. They then attacked her, stabbing her approximately 30 times. 12 wounds were potentially fatal.
What possessed them, like, over and above, like, this inspiration from a movie? It's like, I would understand, like, oh, yeah, let's use this movie and scare her.
Yeah.
But, like, why murder?
I don't know. And the rest of my episode didn't save. It's not there. That's all I have. Oh
To be contuvered.
no. Oh, that's so bad.
To be continued.
But anyways, that was like the end of them being caught. Like this
Yeah.
was their confession. They told exactly what had happened, and those were the events of the night. They got what they had hoped for and gained their fame and their notoriety and what have you. As for jail time, I wish that I could tell you, but I'm going to quickly search it up because my episode, I don't know what happened. It's not there.
That's fucked, man.
Oh my God. That's so embarrassing.
Yeah, it's like, I'd be interested to know kind of what these kids' behaviors were leading up to this, like what their family background is. Like,
just like they were friends with Cassie Jo and her boyfriend. Like they just like
why murder? You guys took it so far.
They saw the movie. They got inspired by.
They're just feeding off of each other.
Yeah, probably. They wanted to be like the boys from Scream, and they decided that they wanted to kill this girl and become famous. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, they were. They were also inspired by the two boys that committed the Columbine shooting. So they were obviously like
they're fucked up,
deranged, as well as the Scream, obviously. In a passage written by Brian Draper that was shown in the court during his trial, titled Columbine, he wrote, quote, "I am becoming more and more obsessed with Columbine. It seems now that that's all I think about. I would give anything to go back in time and be part of Eric Harrison and Dylan Klebold's lives. They are my heroes.
Oh,
follow their footsteps and maybe I'll even meet them," unquote.
Oh, yeah. So he's fucked up.
Yeah. So they were both convicted of first-degree murder. With Brian Draper being convicted on April 17th, 2007, and Tori on June 8th, 2007. On August 31st, 2010, each received a mandatory sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus 30 years to life for being convicted on conspiracy to commit murder.
Yeah.
Because they documented it all.
Yeah.
Like they recorded it all in a documentary style film about how they wanted to kill this poor girl. So they're serving their sentences at Idaho State Correctional Institution, which is located in Ada County, Idaho, near Kuna. In 2019, Tori tried to appeal, obviously, and it was denied. And they both were called to testify. Oh, really? Both were called to testify in 2004 trial murder of Nori Jones. In September 2004, the defense argued that there were other suspects who were in what? Anyways, we'll leave that out. But that is we don't.
Nori Jones.
Nori Jones.
So Cassie Jones and Nori Jones?
Cassie Jo Stoddart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cassie Jo Stoddart. Nori Jones, the 25-year-old woman who was murdered by, oh no, I clicked on something. Who was murdered by Brad Comfer in Pocatello, Idaho. Comfer was arrested in 2014, approximately 10 years after the murder. I wonder why they were called to testify. That's very interesting. But, oh yeah, here we go. Defense was skeptical about the DNA evidence that was sufficient to argue that Comfer had no motive to commit the murder. There was evidence. In questionable move, Comfer's defense singled out Brian Draper and Tori Adamick. So they thought that they did it. Yeah. Yeah, they thought they were a possible suspect. And they transferred them to Pocatello for the trial, but neither of them testified and were returned to Idaho Correctional Facility because they didn't do it. But anyways, they were inspired by Scream.
Crazy.
And Columbine, apparently.
Ugh.
At least they didn't shoot up a school. But there you have it. 2 episodes that have connections to 2 of my favorite horror movies.
See, that was a really good one to do a double down on.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
now we made it to 25 minutes. Woo-hoo! Cheers to that. Oh, wait. And then wait, was it under and over? Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do this.
What's under and over?
Because then I don't want to spill it. Yeah. There we go.
If you're on Patreon,
you get to see the video.
Yeah. So thank you for your patience while I navigated through my little bit of a hiccup there.
And thank you for your patience while we had a summer of just, you know,
I didn't do anything. I got nothing to.
Yeah, but like sometimes you need that to not do anything. It's been nice, like there's a lot of pressure to write episodes and get episodes out, and like it's one thing to be watching and like consuming true crime, but then when you have to write it and research it, it's just like it does take a lot out of you.
It does, yeah.
So I don't know, I'm not really mad about it.
No.
I think that's something that we could do. I mean, we might be able to at some point plan it better so that we can have pre-recorded episodes for
absolutely
4 weeks. But like
sometimes you need a break when you're always looking at all this death and murder and darkness.
And then we both started new jobs and things are busy. So but hopefully we're on a schedule now again.
We are, hopefully.
Yes.
We are.
We just are.
100%. So you'll see and hear a lot more of us.
You're welcome. Tell all your friends.
Yeah.
Please.
Because this is back out in the wild, we'll tell you where you can find us.
Yeah.
You can find us on our socials. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Homebrew Murder Crew.
We're on X and Patreon at Homebrew MC. Patreon is $3 a month to subscribe. You do need to create a free account in order to find us, as we are an 18 plus podcast. And $3 a month to subscribe. You get early release episodes as well as video recorded episodes and some bonus content.
Yeah. And you can also email us at homebrewmurdercrew@gmail.com. And I forgot.
Did you hear that?
What the fuck was
my
that?
neck?
Are you okay? Is it broken?
No, it's fine, but I almost threw up. It's so fucking nasty. I wonder if you guys all heard that, but oh my god.
See, this is part of the beauty of microbrews. You get the total unedited fuckery that we are.
I mean, most of our episodes, even our regular episodes these days, are not
we
really
don't
edited
edit much. No, you get like the true raw versions of us. But I also forgot to mention on our last episode, but because it's been a while, but you can email us at homebrewmurdercrew@gmail.com. And
you did
forget to email us your fears.
Oh, yeah.
I'm working on an episode about fears, and I got some good ones recently from some of my new coworkers.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that. But tell me your fears, your uncommon, like
weird,
bizarro fears.
If you've forgotten, Megan is afraid of kangaroos and sinkholes.
And mannequins and leprechauns.
It's wild, man. Auntie B is afraid of clowns.
What are you afraid of?
Nothing.
Bullshit.
I don't know. So I used to be quite afraid of spiders, but I'm not as afraid anymore. Like I can tolerate one being in the vicinity of me.
Yeah.
Not really in my house. Like I just don't. I know it's supposed to be a good luck thing, and but I'll have to think about it.
Yeah.
Think about what I'm afraid of. I guess like dying in a fiery car crash.
That's a good fear. That's a good.
But like I think everybody's got a healthy fear of dying. I think.
That's true. But like, it's not normal to constantly fear that that's going to happen to you.
No, it's not. And I think that's like what like agoraphobia comes into play,
Yeah.
which I don't have.
No.
But like people who have that are afraid of like if they leave the house, they're going to die.
Yeah.
But I think there's more to it than that. But anyways, I'll think about it. And
you'll hear about
get
them on
back to
our
you.
episode.
I'm certainly not afraid of a train of terror where people can touch me and grab me and I have to sign a waiver, which Megan and I are going to on October 10th?
Yes.
11th? 10th.
Sometime in October.
Sometime then.
10th, I think.
It's going to be an experience.
It's going to be so much
We'll tell you guys all about it.
Yeah. We're going to ride that train of terror.
Yeah. Choo-choo, motherfucker.
All right.
On that note.
Thanks for tuning in. And bye.
Bye.
We love you.
Bye-bye.